EastEnders spoilers. Murder shock as Ben vows to kill Rocky. Rocky Cotton found himself in seriously deep water in EastEnders this week when he married Kathy Beale, despite still being married to Joe Cotton. With Kathy scraping together all of her savings to stop Joe from going to the police, it was only a matter of time before Ben Mitchell found out, and it's safe to say that he wasn't very impressed. He demanded that Rocky tell him what was really going on, or he would take him outside, and he certainly wasn't implying that they'd go for a nice walk. When Rocky and Kathy revealed the extent of the mess Rocky had got them into, and the extra £10,000 Joe was now asking for, Ben was astounded, and made it clear that Joe would continue to come back for more money now that she knew they were willing to fork out. Fortunately, they soon came up with a plan, and when Joe arrived for the rest of her money, she got more than she bargained for when Ben arrived dressed as a detective constable, complete with husband Callum's police badge. Ben's convincing performance managed to scare Joe off, but he still wasn't totally satisfied, insisting that if Rocky ever hurt Kathy again, then he would make sure his body was never found. Later, as Rocky posted the real divorce papers, Ben was still at a loss as to what Kathy actually saw in him. When she pointed out that none of her husbands had been very nice to her, Ben argued that at least Phil Mitchell hadn't pulled a missus out of his back pocket. Now, that isn't necessarily true, given that Phil had to admit that he was actually still married to Nadia during his relationship with Kathy, but seeing as it happened before Ben was born and he wasn't to know, we'll let it slide. Rocky once again apologized for the heartache he had caused, asking if they could all now leave it in the past and move on. With Kathy defending him, Ben reluctantly agreed, but made a gesture that suggested Rocky would end up with broken bones if he ever did anything like that again. With Ben out of the way, laid out a plan for them to move forward, promising that he would get their non-marriage annulled and do things again properly. As Rocky got down on one knee in front of Kathy for about the third time, "We're starting to lose count, he's done it so often," she agreed to marry him once again. While Kathy finally seems happy, will Rocky be able to make sure she stays that way, or is he destined to mess things up again?
Xin chào các bạn đã quay trở lại VK Spoiler. Vừa rồi các bạn đã theo dõi một sản phẩm của chúng tôi, VK Spoiler, một kênh tin tức chuyên cung cấp cho các bạn những thông tin mới nhất về những bộ phim xà phòng của Vương quốc Anh như EastEnders, electrifying, Con đời trò chết và Hollywood. Các bạn hãy để lại bình luận bên dưới về những thông tin chúng tôi đã nêu trong video. Hãy like và subscribe để ủng hộ kênh. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn.